Greetings and salutations, gamers. This is John the Gamer64, the legend, the one and only, and yours truly. And welcome to a new video game collection video. So today we'll be covering my Game Boy Advance collection. I believe I only have a couple more consoles to cover as far as covering my whole entire video game collection goes. So yeah. So let's jump right into it. So we'll start off with the first game, and that is Final Fight 1. Yep, Final Fight 1. Focus. Oh, that focus great, didn't it? Alright, there we go. Yep, Final Fight 1. So funny enough, this was actually my very first Game Boy Advance game. And, you know, can't really blame me, because I freaking love, like, the Final Fight series. Definitely one of my favorite beat-em-up series of all time. I think this is what actually got me into beat-em-ups back in the day. So I remember playing this in the arcade as a kid, and then got the Super Nintendo one, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I freaking love Final Fight 1. I like the new features on this, like how they added like new costumes or like new characters like Alpha Guy and Alpha Cody from the Street Fighter Alpha series. I think there was like also cheats too, which I rarely use. But there was like this cool rapid punch one where you like hold down the button, you do like a super rapid punch. But yep, Final Fight 1, man. Alright, so game number 1. Next game we got is Banjo Pilot. So this is a pretty cool racing game. It's almost like Diddy Kong Racing, except, you know, you're only subjected to just the plane. So originally, this game was supposed to be Donkey Kong Racing on Game Boy Advance, but because Nintendo parted ways with Rare, that never came to be. So we got Banjo Pilot. Pretty cool. Alright. And next game we have is Sonic Advance. So what's funny is I actually got this game with no label for $2 at Retro City Games. So they had like a little basket full of Game Boy Advance games, as well as Game Boy Color, etc. So I didn't know this was Sonic Advance. And then, of course, I switched out the shell for a blue one, you know, because it's Sonic, so why the heck not? But yep, Sonic Advance, baby! Alright. Next we got is Street Fighter Alpha 3. Definitely a decent port of Street Fighter Alpha 3. Oh yeah, so as if you guys didn't notice already, we're covering the loose games first. I do have some complete ones, but yeah. Alright, so next game we got is Dragon Ball Z Super Sonic Warriors. This is actually a pretty well made little fighting game on Game Boy Advance for sure. Well, better than the Taiketsu one, I guess. Alright. Next we got is Gunstar Superheroes. So I guess this was like a sequel to the one on Sega Genesis. Yep, Gunstar Heroes. Love freaking Treasure, man. They're like crazy hard, insane, in your face like games. With like enemies everywhere and bosses around every corner. Like, freaking love it. Freaking love it. Alright, next we got is Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Yeah. Definitely a huge Castlevania fan. You know what's kind of disappointing is like they actually released a digital like advanced collection of Castlevania. I think it was this one. Circle of the Moon, Harmony Distance, and Aria of Sorrow. Only lame thing was they didn't release a physical copy of it. just digitally. I'm like, man, Konami's tripping, man. Anyways. Okay. Next we got is Rayman Advance. Based off the first game. Definitely doesn't look too bad on Game Boy Advance. Alright. But man, is it hard. It is hard, I'll tell you that. Alright, next game we got is Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. So when I bought this game, it was on the cheap because I guess this particular game is kind of pricey, but I managed to land a good deal on it on eBay. I think it was like less than $10, but I think the actual value is like $25 on up. Especially the tournament edition, because they have another version of this, which has more characters, or characters they couldn't fit on this card, and they switched out the character roster, I guess. But anyways, yeah, the label is all torn up, so this is a replacement label, of course. And then, of course, replace the cartridge shell with a see-through red. You know, makes sense for blood. Alright. Next game. Dragon Ball GT Transformation. I think this one's kind of like a beat 'em up, if I remember correctly. It's been so long since I played this one. Plus, does anyone really like GT, you know? Next game we got is The Pinball of the Dead. Freaking love the House of the Dead series, and the spin-off is no exception. It's pretty fun, man. Pretty fun. Although this one is more based off of House of the Dead 2. So, pretty dope. Next we got Rampage Puzzle Attack. So yeah, it's crazy that they actually made a spin-off game that was actually a puzzle game on Game Boy Advance. Which was pretty cool, because like it shows like the monsters like on the side of the buildings, like punching bricks and stuff. So, pretty neat. Pretty neat. Next we got is Namco Museum 50th Anniversary. Yeah, I can see the label seen better days, but pretty sure I got this super cheap. Next we got is Pitfall, the Lost Expedition. It's a decent enough Pitfall game, but I thought it was the Mine Adventure, which was like the port of the Super Nintendo one. But it wasn't. I got it super cheap, so I was like, alright, whatever. At least I got a Pitfall game. Alright. Next we got is X-Men Reign of Apocalypse. So this one is a beat 'em up. I thought it was going to be like the arcade one from the 90s, but it was just okay. Wasn't great. But, you know, it was playable. And then we got Jet Ride Radio. So it's kind of interesting how this one was like has like an isometric view. So kind of like what they did with like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I mean, it works definitely, but they kept like the same core gameplay with like tagging with the directional pad, which was so cool. And this, I think this is the first Jet Grind Radio game to have multiplayer before Jet Set Radio Future on Xbox. So I think I remember playing multiplayer with my boy Blue Ranger Power. But yeah, man, it was pretty fun. Not gonna lie. So that'd be kind of cool if like Sega, you know, makes a sequel. But if I want to play that other one, that was like a spiritual successor. It was like the Cyberpunk Bomb Rush, whatever. Forgot the name of it, but it looks so cool because it mixes like, you know, rollerblading, parkour, BMX, and all that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game for sure. Alright, and next we got is Pac-Man Collection. Can't go wrong with Pac-Man, man. Especially being a retro gamer. I gotta have my Pac-Man fix. Alright, next we got is Road Rash Jailbreak. I remember playing multiplayer with Blue Ranger Power, I think on 4th Gamer Night. And I think this was Halloween, and yeah, man, definitely had a blast with this. Although I think I prefer the PlayStation version better. Alright, next we got is Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament Tactics. So yeah, it's like a little turn-based like RPG. Or a tactical turn-based RPG. You know, like Ogre Battle, or like Final Fantasy Tactics. You get it. Right. Next we got is Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2. Definitely worth the sequel of the original. Although I love the original. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And we got a pinball game. We got Mario Pinball Land. Well, actually, this is the second one I showed. First one was the House of the Dead one. But yeah, Mario Pinball Land, baby. Woo! Alright, and next we got is Iridian 3D. A little shoot 'em up in 3D. And then we got Sonic Advance 3. Can't go wrong with the Sonic title on Game Boy Advance for sure. Alright, and then we got Metroid Zero Mission. So I guess this was like the remake. Yeah, so it's a remake of the game of the one on NES. Which is cool because you can actually save in this one. And I think, I don't know if it's this one or Metroid Fusion, you can unlock the original NES one. As far as I know. And speaking of Metroid Fusion, here it is. Okay, so I think that covers all the loosey-goosey Game Boy Advance games. So, moving on to the box complete games. And going backwards, I got Sonic Advance 2. And this one's complete. And this one also has a blue cartridge. You know, just gotta keep the Sonic theme going, you know? Remember I bought this case from, what was it? CustomGameCases.com. Oh wait, I guess this was before they started putting their little logo inside the box. Well, yeah. Sonic Advance 2, baby. Woo! Alright, next game we got is the Capcom Classics Mini Mix. So this is Mighty Final Fight, Strider, and Bionic Commando. So I was really excited for Mighty Final Fight for sure, because as we all know, the original cartridge on NES is pretty much skyrocketing in value. I mean, sure, I could buy a reproduction cart, but I don't really want to. If I can find the original, you know, out in the wild for cheap, then yeah, that'd be great. Alrighty. Next we got is Super Monkey Ball Jr. Definitely a fun little series, man. You know, I didn't play it on GameCube back in the day. So I actually got the what was it? It was on original Xbox. They like ported it to original Xbox. I think it was both Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. I think it was called like Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. So that was my first foray into Super Monkey Ball. Okay. And next we got in classic NES series game, we got Castlevania. Alright. And next we got is F-Zero Maximum Velocity. God, these games are, like, they're fun to play, but they're so freaking challenging, man. I'll tell you that much. But you know, it's a freaking travesty how, like, they haven't made an F-Zero game since the GameCube, I want to say. Because they did not make one on Wii U. They did not make one on Switch. They didn't even make one on 3DS. So I'm like, what the heck, bro? No love for F-Zero? I mean, I know it's challenging, but, you know. It's like, this game definitely, you know, rivaled, what was that futuristic racer series? I think it was Wipeout. Hell, I even loved Extreme G on, like, Nintendo 64. Extreme G 1 and 2. But, yeah. Alright. Next we got is Pac-Man Pinball Advance. Man, there's quite a few pinball games on Game Boy Advance. See, Super Mario Land, the Dead, House of the Dead Pinball, or Pinball of the Dead, and Pac-Man Pinball. Wow. But you gotta give it to Nintendo or give it to Kirby, because I think he was the first one to have his own pinball game on Game Boy first. Alright, and next we got is F-Zero GP Legend. It's a sequel to the other one, the Maximum Velocity. I guess this one was more based on the anime, the show that was on FX, or was it F-Box, Foxbox, what have you. I think I only watched like a couple episodes. I don't really remember it too much. Remember they also had like Sonic X, and they actually had a Kirby show too. They're okay. Alright, and we got Guilty Gear X Advanced Edition. Not a bad port, not a bad port. Like, considering. Like, I think they pulled it off, man. Like, pretty good, pretty good. Alright, and we got the OG Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku with a cool holofoil box. I think I had like the poster in one of my old places, but either forgot it or lost it, or I don't know. But yeah, so shiny, love it. Oh, and I love, like, at the beginning of the game when you're looking for Master Roshi's dirty magazines. Oh, that was hilarious. Good old Dragon Ball Fair. And we got Drill Dozer. This includes Rumble feature. Definitely an interesting game. Alright. And next we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Definitely not a bad port. Like I was saying, like, it has like the isometric view, but it still had the core gameplay. So yeah, man, I definitely had a good time with this one. Alright, and next we have is Crash Bandicoot's Huge Adventure. Can't go wrong with Crash Bandicoot. But yeah, this one's kind of like reminiscent of, like, I want to say, like the last two games on PlayStation, Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3. Yeah. All right, and this one's a true classic here, the only portable version of Banjo-Kazooie. It's Grunty's Revenge. Yeah, I freaking love this game on Game Boy Advance. Oh, so I guess technically there's two Banjo games. Well, Banjo Pilot, but this one's like a true Banjo-Kazooie adventure here. That'd be kind of cool if they like did what they did with the Zelda Link's Awakening on Switch. Like maybe they can do like kind of like a remake almost, or a remaster and just put it on Switch. I don't know. Oh yeah, and I don't really care for those online services where you can play NES games, Game Boy Advance, all that other mess. I mean, it's not really up my alley. I'm more like I am truly a retro gamer at heart, so I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. I am good on that. Yeah. Alrighty. You know what? What's another game? Oh, Tekken Advance. I think I was missing that one from the collection here. You know, that was basically a port of Tekken 3. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, folks. I believe that covers my Game Boy Advance collection. So, until next video, thank you all for watching, and love, peace, and chicken grease. Hey, yo.